So now that we've asked ourselves the first question, which is, am I actually encouraging my child somehow to be a bully? And deeply reflecting on that and then answering that as we discussed previously, we can now enter the second half of this, which is actually addressing our child bullying. Now there's 3 parts of this phase. There's the first part, which is when it first comes to our attention and how that our child is bullying other children. There's preparing ourselves emotionally for the interaction with our child, and there's the interaction itself. So the first part, it's important. Depending on how we hear about our child bullying, we have a decision to make. And that's this. It will come to our ears sometimes, either made up by other children, intentionally, or because they don't realize the ramifications of making up something like this, that our child's doing something wrong when they weren't actually doing something wrong, or it'll get blown out of proportion. Or another parent didn't see it happen, but they heard from their child, and hearsay, hear it second person, they come to us and said, I think your child might be bullying my child. They've got the best of intentions. We then have a fine line, which is on one side, we can just say, absolutely, thank you, I'm going to punish my child and give them consequences like it happened for a fact that they bullied. Or we could accidentally do the other extreme, which is, I didn't see it happen, so I'm not going to address it. However we handle that, it's important for us to be aware of those 2 extremes and try to find an intelligent middle ground. Because a lot of times we won't see it ourselves. We want to make sure we're handling it enough to where it gets addressed. And we also want to make sure that we're not just showing our children that we have poor judgment because we might end up punishing them when they never did something. We can still at least talk to them, but that first part's just a template. We got to figure that answer out for ourselves. Second part, preparing ourselves emotionally. As we discussed yesterday, when we asked ourselves, are we causing our children to feel safe with us? Or are we causing our children to feel afraid of us? And we discussed that and what that looks like so we can know how to answer that question. If we go into the interaction with our children feeling volcanic and furious, it's probably a good time for us to breathe. Take a moment. Take a few moments. Take an hour or so, whatever we need to do, so that we can go into it with a cool head. This is going to be an important conversation for them. It benefits us and them to be in a cool head. Once we're in that cool head position, we can feel upset or stern but still be cool-headed about it, then we can go into it. And here's something for consideration. If we chastise our kids just solely, then depending on how extreme it is, maybe they need to learn a very intense chastisement. Again, individual situations, our own judgment. And yet there's something to be said for inviting them into a conversation in a format of, hey, one day you're going to be an adult. And I want to usher you into this level of being an adult. So as part of that, I'm going to have a conversation with you about that. And that can often be as impactful, if not more impactful, than just simply chewing them out in public. First, second, and third parts of this.